For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. Physicist claims, gravity is evidence that we live in a computer simulation. A British physicist has proposed a new interpretation of gravity that fuels the hypothesis that our reality might be a giant computer simulation. In his recent paper, he compares the behavior of the universe to algorithms used in digital systems. Melvin Vopson of the University of Portsmouth argues that gravity may serve as further evidence that our reality is simulated. In a scientific article published in AIP Advances, he suggests that gravitational force not only holds objects together, but is also a mechanism through which a simulated universe reduces entropy, similar to how a computer compresses data to optimize performance. Vopson believes gravity may arise as a byproduct of digital information processing, designed to make the simulation more efficient. He describes it as a form of data compression and computational optimization that supports the idea of a computational or virtual universe. His findings contribute to a broader scientific movement that considers fundamental forces of nature as the result of a complex simulation system. Vopson's theory reflects an idea popularized by philosopher Nick Bostrom in the early 2000s, which posits that our reality could be a digital simulation created by an advanced civilization, a concept brought to mainstream attention by the film The Matrix. However, as researchers point out, proving such a theory is incredibly difficult, especially if the authors of the simulation have deliberately hidden its true nature. In other words, we may not be able to detect the simulation from within it, just as video game characters cannot know they exist inside a game. Vopson bases his calculations on his own second law of infodynamics, which states that the entropy of any system remains constant or increases over time. He suggests that gravity pulls matter into single structures, reducing entropy and fragmentation, thus organizing space, much like how computers group and compress data to save resources. My findings in this study are consistent with the view that the universe might operate like a giant computer, or that our reality is a simulated construct. Just as computers strive to conserve memory and function efficiently, the universe may be doing the same. It's a new way of thinking about gravity, not just as an attractive force, but as a manifestation of the universe's drive to stay organized. Vopson said in a statement. In his paper, Vopson also describes the structure of the simulation. He proposes that information stored in discrete cells determines the coordinates of matter within the simulation, akin to pixelated units of ones and zeros. The process mirrors the way digital video games, virtual reality apps, or advanced simulations are developed. Each cell can contain multiple particles, similar to a computing system minimizing data load. Simply put, it's far more efficient from a computational standpoint to track and calculate the position and momentum of one large object rather than many smaller ones. It appears that gravitational attraction is just another optimization mechanism in the computational process designed to compress information. The scientist adds, Vopson has long been a proponent of simulation theory. In 2022, he claimed that the genomes of the COVID-19 virus showed decreasing entropy over time, supporting evidence for his second law of infodynamics. In another paper that caused a stir, he argued that information could be the fifth form of matter, again allegedly demonstrating that we live in a simulation. Whether his research will ever receive mainstream recognition and acceptance outside of the scientific community remains to be seen. After all, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, especially when they seek to turn our very understanding of reality upside down. Quantum simulation reveals how reality might collapse. Like a sandcastle, physicists have conducted a new large-scale simulation offering insights into a mysterious process that could one day determine the ultimate fate of the universe. About 50 years ago, theoretical physicists proposed that our universe might be stuck in a false vacuum, a state that appears stable but may actually be temporary. According to this theory, the universe could transition at any moment into a more stable, true vacuum state. If that happens, the very fabric of reality could change instantly and dramatically, altering the fundamental forces and particles that make up everything. Scientists believe such a transition is highly unlikely to happen soon, if it happens at all, but could occur over millions or even billions of years. Now, an international team from 3 research institutes has used a powerful quantum simulation to study how this false vacuum decay might unfold. The project, led by Prof. Zlatko Papet from the University of Leeds and Dr. Jaka Vodibi from Forschungszentrum Jülich in Germany, offers new insights into quantum behavior governing both the early universe and the smallest building blocks of matter. We're talking about a process in which the universe would completely change its structure, says lead author Prof. Papet, a professor of theoretical physics. Fundamental constants could change instantly, and the world we know would collapse like a house of cards. What we really need are controlled experiments to observe this process and determine its timescale. The study marks a significant advance in understanding quantum dynamics, how systems evolve under the strange rules of quantum mechanics. The team's simulation could also have practical implications for quantum computing, which may one day help scientists solve the most challenging puzzles about the nature of reality itself. The research carried out by the University of Leeds, Forschungszentrum Jülich, and the Institute of Science and Technology Austria, IST, aims to understand the core mechanism behind the false vacuum decay. They used a 564-qubit quantum annealing device, a special type of quantum machine developed by D-Wave Quantum Inc., to solve complex optimization problems using quantum effects. In their recently published paper in Nature Physics, the team explains how they used the machine to simulate the behavior of bubbles in a false vacuum. These bubbles are similar to water vapor bubbles forming below the dew point. Their formation, interaction, and spread could trigger the collapse of the false vacuum. Co-author Dr. John Yves Desals, a postdoctoral researcher at ISTA, explains, "This phenomenon is comparable to a roller coaster with several dips, but only one true lowest point at ground level. If that's the case, quantum mechanics would allow the universe to eventually tunnel into this lowest energy state, the true vacuum, which would cause a global cataclysm." Quantum annealing allowed researchers to observe the complex dance of bubbles, how they form, grow, and interact in real time. These observations showed that the dynamics are not isolated events. They involve intricate interactions, including how smaller bubbles influence larger ones. The team says their findings offer new insights into how such transitions might have occurred shortly after the Big Bang. Physicists have long questioned whether a false vacuum decay could happen, and, if so, how long it might take. But the mathematical challenges of quantum field theory have made it hard to get answers. Rather than trying to solve these issues with abstract equations alone, the team focused on simpler questions that can be explored using new hardware. This is one of the first times scientists have directly simulated and observed false vacuum dynamics at such a large scale. The experiment involved configuring 564 qubits, the elementary units of quantum computation, into patterns representing a false vacuum. By carefully controlling the system, researchers could trigger a transition to a true vacuum, mimicking the bubble formation described in theoretical models. Though they used a one-dimensional model, future research may allow three-dimensional versions of the same simulation.